What's going on, you guys? Back again with another video. Today we're going to be working on the Tacoma once again. On our previous video you saw me installing the Prinsu roof rack, and if you didn't, I highly suggest you go back and check that out. If you remember, on this Tacoma I used to have this 52-inch curved light bar, RGB light bar to be exact. That is now off the truck, and we're going to be installing Cali raised LED dual function 42-inch light bar. By dual function, I mean you have these amber corner lights and white in the side. We're also going to be going with Cali raised LEDs, Prinsu rack mounting brackets. Now, one of the things about this exact light bar, you guys, is that it's a little wider than 42. It's actually more like a 43. So with that being said, one of the steps is we got to remove that front fairing off the Prinsu. We got to measure it, or actually first we got to mount this in place. Grab that fairing, put it up to the light bar, and then measure exactly how much we need to trim off. Because from this fairing, because this light bar is a little wider than it's meant to be used for, we have to cut out, from my understanding, about an inch from the fairing on each side. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these front bolts, remove this front wind deflector or fairing, and then I'm gonna install the new light bar and then measure out my cutouts. I do have some spray paint so we can take care of those unpainted edges once we cut it. I'm also gonna have to cut these wires out. So since I used to have this one back there, I used to have or I still do have a Cali raised OEM style LED on and off button, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. This one here, LED light bar. I'm still gonna use that same button, but the wiring is gonna be a little different. So this wire harness comes with 3 wires. You got your black, that's a ground, your green, and your white, which are both positive leads. And that, the reason they give you 2 is to give you the option to either run 2 different switches for both your amber or your white. In my case, I'm going to be soldering both of these up closer to the end of the light bar to make it just one positive, one negative, way easier, one switch. That way one switch will turn the whole light bar on. Alright, you guys, so let me try to explain to you exactly what I'm going to do. I went over to the truck and I kind of looked at it a little bit closer, and I looked over the hardware that comes with the Cali raised LED kit. Now the Cali raised LED kit, the mounting, I guess the mounting nuts that go into the bar going across the front for the Prinsu, the mounting, it looks like this. Let me see if I could get it all on camera. This is the mounting tab that comes with the Cali raised LED kit, which allows it to slide right into the top of the crossbar as it's on the truck, slide in and rotate and face upwards. Now, with that being said, that's good and all. However, Prinsu sends you extra mounting tabs. It's their own hardware. Now, if you look at their hardware is just slightly wider than the Cali raised LED hardware. Now, with that being said, the Cali raised LED hardware can slide on without having to remove that front bar, which is good. But I think I'm just going to go ahead, remove the front bar, and go with the Prinsu rack's own hardware that they send. And if you look at the screw that Cali raised sends out to you as a mounting screw, the Prinsu is the exact same height. So it should work out perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and just choose for my own installation to go with the Prinsu roof racks hardware. I am going to use Cali raised mounting brackets. And at the same time, I also realized that the kit for the mounting of the Cali raised LED light bar is one baggie. And then inside of another baggie just comes your normal hardware for mounting, just a universal mount for their light bar. Now you will have to use their hardware as far as the screw to go into the light bar and through the bracket. Hopefully that makes sense, but if not, you will see it as soon as I get it all together and done. As you can see, I already went ahead and cut my wire. Now the reason why I went ahead and just cut it here is because the wire harness that actually I have, which I've already kind of seen how it's going to go, I'm going to squeeze it in through this side of this window trimming. Originally my plan was to go on the inside because of that bigger, thicker gauge wire that comes with the Cali raised LED light bar, but because I'm going to join 2 wires into one, this will work out better for me. So as you can see, you have a female side plug terminal on these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect a male side terminal onto these two here, and then I'm just gonna put a heat shrink over the whole thing to keep it nice and clean. So as you can see, the diameter of this wire is a lot thicker, and I think that's gonna work out overall better for me. I'm gonna go ahead and make the connections here now. So actually, now looking at it, I don't think I'm gonna have to solder anything at all. I think if anything, I'm just gonna be able to put two of those copper wires into one terminal and crimp it all down and set it ready to go that way. So that might end up working out a little bit better. I do like the option of having the quick disconnect if I ever wanted to uninstall it. However, if this does ever fail on me and or becomes disconnected while I'm on the road or whatnot, I can always just pop those back off and then resolder the whole thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive into putting the male terminals onto the light bar. Alright you guys, so I got my Dremel ready with a metal cutting tool. I also went ahead and measured just inside of 1 inch on each side. When I mounted it up, I feel like ½ inch would be plenty, but I'm going to go ahead and just go 1 inch on each side just so it's equal, and that'll give me plenty of room to get in there and be able to tighten up on the inside bolt. So I marked just inside of the 1 inch mark, so that way I can cut right outside of it, and then we should be pretty much at 1 inch on both sides. So here we go. Safety glasses is a must. Alright, there's one side, you guys. Not too bad of a cut, honestly. I expected to do a lot worse. It's actually pretty freaking straight. You'd have to look pretty freaking close to it to realize that there's something wrong or if that it's even remotely been touched. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the other side, and then I'm going to switch it up to my sanding down bit. And then basically just clean all this up real good and nice. I'm going to see how it mounts up. If everything looks good and when it mounts up to the truck, then I'll go back with my spray paint. I'm going to take the rest of this off just so I don't get spray paint anywhere else. And I'm just going to do a quick spray on it. And that's pretty much it. And you want to do that just to avoid any of this bare metal seeing any elements of, you know, the atmosphere or whatnot. So go ahead and do the same thing on the other side and we'll pick it back up. Alright you guys, so not too bad. This is my first time really doing this type of cut or real sand with the Dremel. You can see it's a little wider up top, but not too bad overall. This one looks pretty straight actually. You can see I went ahead and sanded down all the sharp edges, and I am going to go ahead and repaint all this as I stated. See, all the sharp edges are pretty much gone and sanded down. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this back up to the truck. Everything looks like it fits good and sits well, then we'll pretty much go back, respray this, and then mount it up. Alright you guys, so this has been a very frustrating process. And instead of going through all the different kind of mounting options that I had to end up trying to finally get this thing to work, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys exactly what I did. For some reason, the videos that I've seen have none of those worked for me. I don't know why. I don't know what I did wrong. I've tried every single way of doing it. It didn't work. So I contacted Calibre's LEDs themselves, and one of the installers actually emailed me pictures of his setup. Now, when I went ahead and tried his setup, which his setup was mounting the light bar, instead of going to that bar, the crossbar that holds your fairing in, instead of mounting it to that, which my understanding was that's exactly how you're supposed to do it, he mounted it to one of these crossbars. This crossbar originally was back here somewhere, but the way that the installer of Cali Raised LED sent me pictures, and his pictures, this bar was actually mounted here. I tried that, and for whatever reason, my light bar, the only way to get it to actually go on there without hitting this fairing was to face it upwards. Obviously, I don't want it to slightly face upwards. I want it as flat as possible the way it is now. So I figured, what the hell, let me move it up. So I moved this bar up. I inserted the mounting tab inside of this slit here, and then what I went ahead and had to do is, now I was able to that gave me plenty of room to adjust this up or down, but now my fairing was showing a huge gap. So what I went ahead and did, originally I had my fairing on these two down here, now they're in the middle. Everything is tight, and that is what we are looking like. God, freaking, I don't get it, guys. I simply don't get it. What should be easy and what I think is gonna be boom, 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 never freaking is. But that goes to show you how good this Prinsu rack really is. You have so many different mounting options, so many different adjustments that you can make it work. The only downside about mine is that it's kind of sticking up a little bit up past the past being flush with the rest of the rack, but I don't mind it. At this point, I'm loving the way it looks. I'm loving the way it's sitting. Our cut was exact to size, you guys, so I would say definitely take 1 inch off on each side, because as you can see, this side you have a very small gap to get to the screw, and on the other side you have a perfect amount of gap to get your wire out of the light bar. Now the beautiful thing about mounting it this way is that you can still get to this bolt and screw it and unscrew it however you need be. So you can make adjustments up, down, left, or right. I'll show you guys the gap on this side. See, the gap on this side is perfect because you still got your wire coming out of here. So with that being said, I'm gonna finally move on to the wiring aspect of this. Hopefully that goes as planned. We've had plenty of practice wiring up light bars, so let's get to it. Alright, you guys, everything is reconnected. Engine bay is all nice and cleaned up as best as it's going to be. I went ahead and mounted my new relay there on my Cali Raised LED relay mounting bracket. So go ahead and close up the engine bay. And there it is. Let's go ahead and test it, turn it on. So you can see, still the same button, Cali Raised LED. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn the rest of them on. And there it is. Kind of hard to tell really how bright they are during the daytime, or over the camera I should say, because believe me, in person they're pretty freaking bright. This build, you guys, or this install, was honestly quite a bit of a headache. The wiring portion of it was pretty easily, it wasn't too bad. All I did is remove the old wiring for my old light bar, which is all right there. And then when I went ahead and pulled the new wires for the button inside, all I did was tape up the old wire to the new wire, pulled it through, new wire came out, hooked everything back up the same way it was before, and that's pretty much what we're looking like. Like I said, you guys, remember, the way that I showed you is a way that will work, as you can see. So if you are struggling the same way I was, just feel free to go straight to this mounting option and it will not fail. The only down part about this mounting option, like I said, is that it sits a little higher than the roof rack itself, and your wind fairing or your wind diffuser doesn't come all the way down. So you can see it still touches there in the middle, but you got a pretty good gap over here on the side, which is why originally I wanted to move it all the way down. But nonetheless, I'm super freaking stoked. Cali Raised LED, 43-inch light bar with your amber sides, white in the middle. You got your Prinsu roof rack, looking freaking sweet. That's pretty much it, you guys. Stay tuned. I got plenty of mods coming for this truck. I cannot wait. If you guys would like to see some night shots of all my lights once I'm 100% done, let me know down below. and I'll go ahead and give you guys like an update video with night shots and all my lights. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.